hierarchy. If your organization is built like this, if you're just a part of a pyramid where information has to flow bottom up, top down, that kind of an organization is not going to do well for collaboration. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want to have any kind of structure for your company. You can have some kind of structure. You can have somewhat of a hierarchy in there, but make sure that the communication and the collaboration flows top, down, left, right, side to side, any different types of direction. Because typically inside of this pyramid, communication only flows top down. That is a pure collaboration killer. If you work in that kind of an organization, if you're a leader in that kind of an organization, I don't care how hard you try, unless you change that structure, collaboration is just not going to happen. Southwest Airlines is a company that I think does a pretty good job of this. Not too long ago, they wanted to design a new uniform for Southwest Airlines employees, but they opened this up to everybody, regardless of seniority level, regardless of the type of work that you're doing at the company. And their rationale was that a top-level executive has as much right and opportunity to contribute to a uniform design as an entry-level employee who just started working at the company. So when you can bring together employees and teams from different seniority levels, different groups, different regions, different departments, then you start to see a lot of that collaboration happen. Another way that you can start to destroy hierarchy is by creating employee resource groups. A lot of organizations have employee resource groups inside of their four walls, and even in your collaboration tool, you can create employee groups. And you can invite employees from different seniority levels, from different parts of the world, to be a part of those groups. They can be fun groups or they can be business groups. So for example, maybe you want to create a fun group around family stories. Maybe you have a chess group or a racquetball group, right? Two things that I love. That you can create inside of your organization. And you have people from different seniority levels who are there, and it gets that kind of collaboration going. Another very common roadblock to collaboration is fear, because part of collaboration means speaking up, which again is something that we talked about in a previous video. And collaboration means having your voice heard. It means getting that little bit of visibility. It means having to have that bit of confidence in yourself. And so sometimes employees are a little bit scared, right? They don't know about that stuff. They're a little bit worried. And so fear keeps them from really collaborating or communicating effectively. A bunch of professors over at the Harvard Business School were studying collaboration. And ultimately what they found is that a shared belief held by members of a team that the team is safe for interpersonal risk-taking is one of the biggest factors for team success. So try to make sure that you can bring that inside of your organization and inside of your team. And interestingly enough, another big barrier to collaboration is this idea of over-collaboration, collaborating too much, where you need to get somebody else's input for every idea, for every small thing that you're trying to do. This is why inside of organizations, we sometimes have meetings, web conference calls, where 100 people get invited, because everybody needs to be a part of it, right? No, they don't. They really don't. And so you really need to make sure that you have that level of autonomy that you can give employees. I mean, the best way that you can solve this problem of over collaboration is by giving employees that level of autonomy. Again, my team, much smaller probably than yours, I have 10 people that I work with, but I don't ask them to send me everything for approval. I don't ask them to send me everything that I need to look over before it goes up online. I say, you know what? Put it up online. If there's a mistake, we'll fix it. So try to give employees that level of autonomy so that this over collaboration is not necessary. If you're an employee who's a part of an organization where you find there's a lot of over collaboration happening, it's usually because you're working for a micromanager. It's usually because you're working for somebody who wants to have their hand in every single cookie jar. And it's usually because you're working for an organization where there is a culture of distrust. And those are not things that you want to be a part of. Dan Pink and a bunch of other research actually found that giving employees autonomy is one of the best things that you can do to help build their levels of engagement inside of your company and a part of your team. So to avoid over collaboration, you simply just need to have that open dialogue. Guidelines, expectations, what am I free to run with versus what am I not free to run with. Just have that open dialogue and discussion with your team, and ultimately that will help make sure that you don't over collaborate, because ultimately over collaboration is just as harmful as not collaborating. Those are some of the very common barriers that we see inside of organizations when it comes to collaboration. But if you know what those barriers are, then when they come up, you'll have a good sense of how to deal with them, and you'll quickly be able to recognize them as barriers, and the little red flags should go up in your mind. Athena and I hope you enjoyed that. If you want more content like that, check out futureofworkpodcast.com. And do me a favor, please review the podcast on Apple Podcasts or whatever your preferred channel is. Thank you very much.